What's up, Psychedelic Investors? My name's James, and you're watching The Psychedelic Investor, your number one news source for updates on psychedelic stocks. Today, we have a very special episode for you, as there is a big update on MindMed, ticker symbol MMED on the Canadian NEO market, and MMEDF on the American OTC market. Those of you who watch the show know that MindMed is by far my favorite psychedelic stock, as they have the most advanced and diverse clinical pipeline. And with the news that I'm going to present to you today, my excitement levels have only grown. On January 12th, MindMed put out a press release entitled MindMed Expands Psychedelic Microdosing Division adds groundbreaking study evaluating LSD microdosing through next-gen digital clinical markers. So, hidden in this wordy title is some very big news. MindMed is expanding its LSD microdosing studies from just looking at how they can help those with adult ADHD to how they could affect a more general population. And this is big news for the company, its shareholders, and potentially society itself. As a reminder, microdosing LSD is a trend that is extremely popular in Silicon Valley, with purported benefits like increased focus, creativity, and emotional regulation. If MindMed can confirm these benefits and then commercialize a product, we could be witnessing a society-changing company taking its first steps. And friends, I want to be part of a society-changing company, don't you? So, in this episode we're going to do a few things. First, we will read the press release and discuss what it means in layman's terms. Second, we will enter the speculation zone to discuss the potential effects of this move. Finally, we'll discuss how this expansion affects MindMed stock as an investment. But first, if you enjoy this video, invest in the channel with your like and subscribe. Over time, you'll see your investment grow as we continue to bring you the information you need before investing in the psychedelic medicines field. And if you're feeling extra generous, leave us a comment telling us what you would like to see covered next. Not only will it help us match content to what you want to see, but it will also feed the almighty YouTube algorithm. Enjoy the video. So, let's hop right into the article. As I said, it's entitled MindMed Expands Psychedelic Microdosing Division adds groundbreaking study evaluating LSD microdosing through next-gen digital clinical markers. MindMed, a leading psychedelic medicine biotech company, today announced an innovative randomized placebo-controlled study evaluating the effects of daytime and evening administration of low doses of LSD on cognitive performance, sleep quality, mood, neuroplasticity markers, emotion regulation, quality of life, and immune system response. So, I just want to jump in here and point out that this paragraph doesn't say that they are testing this in people with ADHD, PTSD, depression, or some other cognitive disorder. This is being tested in regular people, as far as I understand it. This, in its purest form, is a science experiment. They are giving regular people LSD microdoses and testing how it affects the variables of the participants' cognitive performance, sleep quality, mood, neuroplasticity markers, more on what that means later, emotion regulation, quality of life, and immune system response. As we've talked about before, there is an enormous opportunity in LSD microdosing, as there is a lot of anecdotal evidence that it improves the very things that MindMed is testing for. If MindMed can confirm these purported benefits, while also confirming that no nasty side effects exist, the implications are endless. Getting back into the article. The study will provide an additional research pathway for MindMed's Psychedelic Microdosing Division and will immediately integrate with MindMed's plans in digital therapeutics through its newly founded Albert Unit for Digital Medicine. The new study will be conducted in collaboration with Dr. Kim Kuipers of Maastricht University in the Netherlands, a global leading authority on the microdosing of psychedelics. Dr. Kuipers said, "I'm excited about this new study which combines a variety of measures ranging from self-reporting and cognitive tasks to health and sleep parameters, bringing us closer to the mechanism of action behind the claimed benefits of microdosing. In order to advance the scientific understanding of microdosing for clinical purposes, the randomized placebo-controlled study will specifically measure the effects of microdoses of LSD on neuroplasticity markers such as BDNF, plasma levels, as well as on various sleep measures, mood, cognitive performance, emotion regulation, quality of life, and immune system response." Okay, so we're going to take a quick pause to give a couple of definitions. First, neuroplasticity is a term that refers to the brain's ability to change and adapt as a result of an experience. In other words, it is the extent to which the brain can rewire itself after an event. Next, we have BDNF plasma levels, which stands for brain-derived neurotrophic factor plasma levels. And BDNF is something that is being studied in relation to everything from depression to alcoholism to diabetes to Alzheimer's. So, Basically, if your BDNF levels are low, that is a bad sign, and there is already evidence that suggests that low doses of LSD helps with your BDNF levels, so hopefully this trial will confirm that. Okay, continuing. MindMed is integrating innovative digital tracking devices and software into the study to better assess LSD's effects on various digital clinical markers on the human body. MindMed's president and head of clinical, Dr. Miri Wernley, commented on the groundbreaking new study saying, "Over the past 15 years, there has been a growing interest in psychedelic microdosing and its potential enhancing effects on the human body. We now aim to use digital medicine techniques to expand the measurements enabling us to track and understand cognitive performance, various behavioral variables, productivity, and mood indicators. We believe that such measurements may offer an efficient way of determining a response loop for better understanding how microdosing can affect the human body. With this study, we are seeking to gather scientific and controlled data that we hope will contribute to the discovery of potential therapeutic applications for these psychedelic microdosing paradigms as innovative treatment modalities." In addition to this study, MindMed's microdosing division, under the leadership of Dr. Wernley, is undertaking a commercial phase 2A adult ADHD clinical trial evaluating microdoses of LSD. Dr. Kim Kuipers and Dr. Matthias Liecki will serve as principal investigators for the initial clinical trial of this commercial program. Okay, so, like the title, this article is very wordy, so I'm going to break down for you what's happening. Basically, at its core, what we are seeing here is MindMed giving the participants of this study small doses of LSD, and then measuring every variable they can to try to better understand the effects of LSD microdosing. They're using several different methods to collect data, such as the participants' self-reporting, their ability to complete cognitive tasks as compared to those in a placebo group, and also data from blood samples and other types of medical exams. And the data collection will be enhanced by Albert, the company's unit for digital medicine. So, as we have talked about before, it has long been rumored that microdosing LSD has been a staple of engineers and entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley and thousands of Redditors who swear it has changed their lives. The benefits appear to be wide-ranging, from all around improving mood, to helping creativity, to helping people get into states of flow, and to help with focus. Unfortunately, as of now, very little clinical data exists on the effectiveness of microdosing LSD on any of those metrics, so from a scientific point of view, we can't make any bold claims yet. However, what makes this so exciting is that this test gives MindMed the opportunity to prove these hypotheses, which brings us to the speculation zone. Reminder that what is said in the speculation zone is just that, speculation. It is my opinion based on the information that I have provided you. If you believe something that I say is incorrect, let me know why in the comments. If you more than disagree and you feel that you have evidence to the contrary, please comment a link. If you are correct, the whole community will owe you a thanks. So, the very first thing I want to talk about is the timing of this announcement. Most of you probably already know that MindMed has a phase 2 trial studying the effects of LSD microdosing on adults who have ADHD. Now, I want to highlight this because it means that MindMed has already done testing on LSD microdosing, and they have gathered lots of data on the subject. And I believe that in their initial trial, the medical team led by Dr. Liecki and others probably recorded positive effects of LSD microdosing that could be beneficial to a wider population of people. In a previous video, I said this. So once MindMed completes their phase 2 trials, we'll have the first real data on microdosing, the trend that is famous among billionaires and thousands of Redditors who swear it has changed their lives. And I suspect if these trials come back successful, it will be the first of many microdosing to treat X malady studies that we will see. And just quickly, MindMed estimated the drug market for ADHD treatment to be around $9.1 billion annually. And it appears that I was correct, at least up until a point. I thought that they would rapidly expand to test microdosing as a treatment for other ailments, but it appears that they are testing it in healthy people instead. So, just to recap, this study, looking at the effects of LSD microdosing, comes on the heels of MindMed's trial looking at the effectiveness of treating ADHD with LSD microdoses. In my opinion, they would only be doing this new trial if the company and its scientists received positive data from their first trial, which they thought could be extrapolated to a wider population. So, the existence of the second trial in a generalized population means that the first LSD microdosing trial is probably going well, which brings me to another point I wish to speculate on. This trial is looking at the effects of microdosing in healthy adults, not as treatment for a particular mental malady like depression. What does this mean? If LSD microdosing does have lots of positive cognitive effects, could we be seeing MindMed making the first moves towards a product that is not a treatment, but rather a general cognitive enhancer that anyone could take? And here, we need to slow down. As much as I love the idea of being able to pick up my brain-enhancing pills at the grocery store, and being an early shareholder in the company producing these pills, this is probably not what's happening here. I would guess that this experiment is to primarily gain data on the effects of microdosing so that MindMed can then apply it to specific ailments. For example, if this test shows that microdosing increases BDNF plasma levels and increases overall mood and concentration levels, MindMed may decide to do a clinical trial testing LSD microdoses as a treatment for depression. In fact, if I were to guess, I would view this test as a potential launching pad for various clinical trials, exploring the effects on a range of specific maladies, rather than the start of trying to create a generalized brain-boosting product for the masses. On this point, I actually hope I'm wrong, but we will see. So, what does all this mean for investors? Well, first and foremost, I would take it as evidence that MindMed's LSD microdosing to treat ADHD trial is going well, which, even without the new trials, is very good news for long-term investors. Second, this shows that MindMed is continuing to expand their potential product pipeline. Unlike Compass Pathways, the other leader in this field who is focusing on just one clinical trial, treating depression with psilocybin, MindMed seems intent on working towards a solution to many ailments simultaneously. And this is making me start to think of the company as multiple startups working under the same company. It will only take one of their products being successful to justify their current valuation, and if multiple work, which I suspect they will, we, as investors, could be looking at something really special here. And here is a good spot to mention that if you are a MindMed shareholder or potential investor, you need to look at MindMed as a long-term investment. I don't know if the stock price will be higher or lower than it is now in a month, and to be frank, nobody else does either. Nobody can accurately and consistently predict short-term stock movements, and if they tell you otherwise, they are either deluding themselves or trying to sell you something. But what I do know is if treatments like LSD microdosing to treat ADHD and 18MC to treat addiction are more successful than current treatments, then in 5 years the stock price will be astronomical, and everybody will be wishing they got into MindMed at $3. So again, not to sound like a broken clock, but the most important thing for MindMed investors to pay attention to is their clinical trials. They have more than enough money to sustain their future operations, so financially they are sound. The only thing that will determine whether or not MindMed stock will fall or skyrocket in the long term is whether their clinical trials are successful. And a quick reminder, guys, I am not a financial advisor. Please do your own due diligence into any stock you are going to buy. If you enjoyed this video, dive deeper into the MindMed opportunity with the videos you see on the screen. And if you haven't liked and subscribed yet, well, what are you waiting for? It's free, and it will help ensure that you keep seeing this content. This is James from the Psychedelic Investor, signing out. I'll see you next time.